If we are honest with ourselves, the creative industry is no longer just selling fun. A concert ticket or a game subscription service is not just a simple commodity for us, but also a mechanism to deal with emotional spillage, often coming from urban life. What we sell is a way of survival. In a world where lifestyles is increasingly fragmented, we are entering in an era of emotional economy. This means that economic activities shifts from the most basic demand satisfaction to creating meaning and building links, which researchers like Jia and Chen call soft innovation. They believe that the next major development will not come from better hardware. It will come from changes in aesthetics and symbolism. It comes from how a story is told, and this perspective informs my own. I believe that in the next 10 to 20 years, media must evolve from superficial distraction into a tool for emotional regulation. As a cultural production strategist, I want to drive this change by bridging the gaps between digital intimacy on our screens and the physical intensity of the real world. I want to decode and give form to what we are feeling collectively as a way to meaningfully respond. Data from China's short video platforms reflects this demographic shift. According to CTR Weijian, by August 2025, videos under topics like natural healing and hashtag spiritual healing are projected to generate over 700 billion plays. Amadio's view framed technology through the lens of social fears and something to be afraid of. But this data provides a reversal of the addiction narrative. Cause of anxiety? Not anymore. Platforms are evolving into tools for emotional regulation. And simultaneously, the dopamine economy and the mad experience officer mindset has driven brands to turn dopamine into a strategy. For instance, limited time flash sales, gamified shopping, playful packaging, and interactive offline events are all designed to trigger excitement and micro pleasures, what we call 小确幸. Collaborations with strong entertainment IP can amplify these happiness moments, turning emotional uplift into traffic and transactions. It signals that emotional extremes from healing to madness are being systematically engineered and monetized. I propose contributing to the industry through two specific avenues: AI-driven co-creation and immersive mega events. My first intervention focuses on online content creation. Citing Granovetter, as he discusses the concept of embeddedness, he proposes that the Japanese game industry succeeded because it was embedded in a social and historical foundation of creative imagery based on vibrant manga. I wanted to leverage the same social legitimacy he termed by embedding my project into the current global cultural imagery of otaku culture and the loneliness economy. While these 2D icons command affection, the position occupied by traditional autumn games and manga is defined by static consumption and finite narratives. This creates an artificial ceiling on how deep the intimacy a fan can experience. Speaking as a fan, I know the feeling of emotional withdrawal that comes from when the script ends. This connection effectively dies. And to solve this, I propose a new cross-sector transfer. Granovetter noted that Japanese video game industry succeeded by merging hardware with the creative imagery of manga. I wanted to experiment with the modern equivalent, that is, to merge the AI tech sector, including large language models, voice synthesis, the creative sector, and the therapeutic sector. My vision is to replace the passive dating simulations with a collaborative platform. According to Strudstadt's perspective, inspired by the success of modern brands in creating techno-aesthetic conditions for users, I plan to create a personality matrix. In this system, users can play the role of their partner and jointly create stories and narratives through artificial intelligence-generated content tools. Moreover, this system also has a growth partner model. The IP can act as a digital partner that can accompany users in participating in real-life activities. It achieves the dual effect of healing the mind and promoting personal growth by converting daily activities such as fitness or learning into gamified quests. Moran states that cultural production flows linearly from upstream creators to downstream consumers. And what I aim to do is to flip the model around, encouraging users to build the IP themselves. This turns solitary fans into what we call resonance communities. allowing fans to be more involved in the industry through participating in activities such as voting on characters of the month or even co-creating lores. Then we're able to distinguish A-list characters from B-list characters through data drawn from votes, engagements along fan arts. Consequently, this neutralizes the nobody knows factor, and we're able to provide this platform for users to license their validated IP to external partners like media companies. Then we'll be able to empower the downstream audience to become creators. The exploding concert market has demonstrated that the digital domain differs significantly from the physical domain in terms of intensity. While consumers hold their wallets closed for material goods, they open them for live music passionately. This reminded me of Richard and King's experience economy. Their research confirms that live events elicit significantly stronger affective and novelty responses than permanent attractions. I foresee that the traditional concept of a venue is going to disappear. Right now, we confine the experience to a 3-hour window inside a stadium. In the future, however, the concert becomes the climax of a citywide narrative. The experience begins days earlier on your phone, guiding you to partner locations across the city and complete gamified quests and checkups to gain a chance of voting on the encore song. Or their phone might trigger a specific light color during the finale. It turns a standard gig into a multi-day festival atmosphere. This thought was inspired when I traveled to South Korea for an NTEAM concert this summer. The actual show only lasted for 3 hours, but we stayed for the entire week. I followed my friends as they checked in at every restaurant and cafe and photo booth that the band had visited. This made me realize that music is often just a small part of the experience. The consumption behavior that happens around the event is just as critical as it creates opportunity for the multiplier effect. It drives traffic to businesses in a highly targeted way. While I also see tickets evolving from a one-time purchase into something more like an investment. Tickets can operate like shares in a stock market. If I support a niche artist early and buy a ticket to a small show, that purchase leaves a record on the blockchain. Years later, if that artist blows up, my original ticket would grant me royalties or VIP access, illustrating how a fan base can turn into a financial support system. Well, this tackles the issue I see right now. That is, attention acting like a herd. Everyone flocks to the mainstream giants, and it makes it impossible for new groups to break through. I want to take the action of disrupting the current model, thus incentivizing fans to hunt for new talents rather than just following the pre-existing algorithms. Aesthetic-wise, DJ Snake's recent Paris homecoming inspired my vision for the future concerts. The stage designer Romain Pessinam created a cyber-Parisian world as he featured a life-size LED Arc de Triomphe using the towering LED landscape. The design had an immediate effect. As the show began, DJ Snake appeared surrounded by layered lighting and motivating visuals, all crafted to make the audience feel monumental and intimate. Behind this was a massive technical effort. S Group managed the audio-visual execution using hundreds of ROE Visual Vanish V8 LED panels to form a 32-meter high wall that curved into a 500-meter squared LED floor. The stage stops from being a flat backdrop and becomes a three-dimensional environment for the audience. Unsurprisingly, it broke the fourth wall, dissolving the boundary between the artist, technology, and the crowd. This inspired my goal for future mega events design, that is, to command the resources of a small city to build temporary emotional cathedrals. This proves that to justify the cost of a mega event in the digital world, organizers must offer something that cannot be streamed. If the event doesn't physically overwhelm the senses, it won't survive. It also confirms that a concert is a city branding mechanism. Look at what happened in Haikou with Kanye West. The city went from a quiet resort spot to a global headline overnight. This immediately kickstarted a massive spending chain around the airline ticket, the hotel room, and the dinner after the show. This is the practical execution of the eventful city strategy, where stakeholders and governments are using flexible cultural assets to avoid stagnation and generate the energy that attracts high-spending cultural tourists. I want to be an active force in driving this shift. In this future, the audience becomes co-authors and investors in the talents. For too long, we have engaged in entertainment with a sense of guilt. But still, I see entertainment as a key part of the future operating system in every industry we can ever imagine. I want to make sure that people pick up emotional utility that helps them survive and connect in this increasingly fragmented world, not only distraction and escapism.